Hello, welcome to the channel. I'm Claire Francis. Thank you for joining me today. I have lots of things to show you today. I've actually got two hauls. One that I did last week, some things arrived last week and I filmed them, but I didn't have time to show you. And then I have some new items in this week. And I've got a whole variety of things. I've got some Nobody's Child. In fact, it's mostly Nobody's Child. I've also got a new brand for you, which is Arket, which you might have heard of, which is actually one of the H&M subsidiary groups. And they do sort of quite elevated basics and things. They're a Swedish based firm. So I've got a couple of things to show you from them, which is a new store for me. I've also got something from Velvet to show you. I've got something from TKMaxx to show you. So let's get on with it. I'm going to go back a little bit in time and show you the clips from last week, first of all, with my first haul, and then we'll come back and have a look at these. Then I'd also done a Nobody's Child order last week, which did arrive at the beginning of the week. So I've had a look at the items. I've given them a quick iron because they were quite creased, I have to say, when they arrived. And I'm going to show you what they're like. So the first thing I ordered was this denim dress. Now this is a sleeveless denim dress, which I thought would be a good option for summer, but the fabric is fairly, well, it's a sort of lightweight denim, but it's obviously heavier than a lot of other summer dresses. Now I did actually go for this. I decided to size up. I had a problem last time with these dresses from Nobody's Child with a more sort of fitted bodice. The 14 kept pulling across the bust. So I thought maybe I should try a 16. So it's very similar to the Marks and Spencer's one with the sleeves that I showed you a while ago. It's got buttons all the way down, these little brown buttons. It has this waist section here, and then it's a full long skirt. It does have pockets. Let me show you what that's like on. So you can see there, unfortunately, it was far too big for me. So I went up thinking, that'll give my bust room, and actually under the arms there, it's really loose, doesn't look good at all. But the rest of the dress is really nice. It fits nicely at the waist and flares. I really should have got the 14 in this, but obviously I didn't know. I was just sort of guessing. But it is a nice dress. Not sure of the price. I think these dresses are sort of mostly around 30% off or even more. So I'll put the price on the screen there to show you. It is 100% cotton. Now, Nobody's Child are pretty good on their fabrics. They tend to do a lot of organic cotton and linen. This doesn't say it's organic, but they do still source it from responsible sources or responsible methods of producing it. So we can be quite content with what they're like with the fabrics. However, the sizing does seem to be a little bit all over the place. Then I actually ordered another dress. Again, I sized up and went to a 16. So this is a floral design, but it's just a one colour floral. So it's a sort of dark golden yellow sort of colour. My partner did say it looks orange, which I don't think it is. But again, it has buttons all the way down, those little buttons with the little hook that you do up there. And this actually did fit me in the 16. So it's long, flows from the waist all the way down, no tears. But let's have a look at this one then. So you can say this shape did actually suit me quite well, and I didn't have the same problem in the 16. I think the 14 may have been a tiny bit tight across the bust. So, ladies, if you do have a larger bust, I think the Nobody's Child dresses are not generally designed for that unless you get the ruched bodice ones. So in the in the ruched bodice, I can actually get into a 12 or 14 quite happily, but the fitted ones seem to be quite tight across the bust. So, but again, some of the 16s have been much too big, so, you don't know what to do you? But it's a nice fabric. Now, this is 100% viscose, and it does actually feel quite thin. I'm not a huge fan of 100% viscose. I think it can sometimes feel a little bit cheap. It is a nice fabric. It does have pockets, as you can see, as well as you saw on the video, and it fits nicely. Wasn't sure if I really wanted another pattern dress. I am trying to get away from too much pattern. My partner did say to me, are you sure that's something somebody younger would wear? And I thought, oh, okay, maybe he's saying it's not that on trend, but I think because of the yellow colour, you can actually get away with that pattern, and it's a sort of one colour as well. So it does look modern. I think it's been quite a popular dress, actually. I think there's sizes left, but as I'm speaking now, there is some. Not sure when you actually get to see it. So I'll show you the price of that one on the screen there. Again, these dresses are all reduced. That's why I thought I'd show you what sort of thing they've got in their sale or their general reductions. So that was quite a reasonable price. I mean, none of these dresses have turned out to be really cheap, even with the reduction. But because you're getting sort of reasonable quality fabrics, I think you do pay a little bit more for that. Third dress I got was this strappy red dress. So this is just a plain red dress. It has a fitted bodice and then 4 tiers down. I thought on holiday I could have done with a couple more strappy dresses because you don't always want, thicker dresses here with sleeves and things when it is really hot. It's 100% cotton, very plain. The fabric is quite thin. There's no lining or anything. There wasn't any lining with the yellow dress either. But because it's this colour, I think you're not going to see anything much through. But it is very plain. It just feels like a very ordinary type of cotton. There's a zip at the side, so that makes it fit. And I did actually try a 14 in this, and it does fit me okay. It's just the Flossie style dress that I find a bit difficult with the bust sizing. This one was okay in a 14. So let's have a look at that one. You can see there it does fit across the bust, quite snug, but it is fitting. And then obviously the dress flares out, so there's plenty of space around the waist and the hip area. I did like it. I just thought it wasn't anything special particularly. And as I said, I'm not really looking to purchase a lot of summer dresses, to be honest, at the moment, that don't have sort of longevity into the winter. But I thought I'd have a look at it, but don't know what you think. The back, again, has no ruching at all. So it is just completely fitted. And then one other item I got, which wasn't actually a dress, I thought I'd try one of their shirts, and I do love a white broderie type of shirt. And the one I've got at the moment that I actually got from Peacock's quite cheaply, it does have some sort of fake tan type marks on it, which I haven't been able to get out. I don't know what you're like. If you've got any tips for keeping your whites really clean or getting that sort of stain off, please let me know. I have tried washing it with all sorts of things that are supposed to get stains off, but unfortunately on the arms it still has that brownish sort of look. So I'm going to have to retire that one. So I got one that's similar but in a nicer quality fabric. So this again is 100% cotton. It's just a normal sort of slightly, well, quite oversized shirt. Now I did read the reviews for this because it said it comes up big. So I actually ordered this in a small, and it's plenty big enough. In fact, for me, it's a little bit too big, but I was quite happy with the sizing. But you can see broderie detail all over it, front, back, sleeves. I've rolled the sleeves up there a little bit, which I like to do, and buttons all down the front there. But it's more of an over shirt. It's not necessarily a fitted shirt you would tuck in or anything. But let's have a look at that one. So you can see there's plenty of room. Now I think the short is probably slightly shorter, but again, in the reviews it said it's very long, it's very big. So I did make the decision to size down, and I actually got the sizing right on this one. I definitely wouldn't have wanted a medium. Personally, I think when you've got a larger bust and sort of bigger shoulders and that, having a very oversized top does not really do anything for you. So this is about as big as I like to go. So I was happy with the small. Again, it's not cheap still, even with the sale price, but it does feel like a nice cotton. This actually feels like something that's a bit more well made, probably well sourced, sort of thoughtfully made cotton. It does feel that little bit thicker. And really, I have brought this with a view to next year as well. I will possibly wear it once or twice this year, but I'm not in any rush to wear it a lot because I'd actually like to save it. I would like to start next summer with a nice new shirt that's ready to go. So I thought that might be a useful purchase as well. So what do you think I bought out of these dresses? Which am I going to be sending back? I'll let you think about that for a minute. If you have been enjoying the video, please could you press the like button and consider subscribing? It would really help the channel. Thank you. So the first couple of items here are also from Nobody's Child. So I've got this waistcoat here. It's a knitted, well, sort of ribbed fabric, and it's got buttons all the way down the front. It's the same as I've got in black, which I have been wearing in quite a few outfits that I've shown you. Buttons come all the way down. There's just a little gap at the bottom there. And it's sort of, that's where the waistline falls, so it's a little bit below. Not sure if I actually needed it in red as well, but I saw it was in the sale and I thought, well, it is the top that suits me. So I'm going to show you that on in a minute when I show you the next item. So second item, I've been looking for a white skirt. Now I have got one white skirt. The one I showed you quite a while ago from Peruna I didn't keep. I thought it looked a little bit like a sort of lacy tablecloth, so I didn't keep that. So I wanted one more skirt because with me, white, you know, tends to get dirty and then it sits in my washing basket because I haven't got enough items of white to make up a load, and then I've got no white skirt to wear. So I did want a second one, and this one is exactly the style I wanted. So again, it's nobody's child. It's elasticated waist, and then it comes straight from the waist there all the way down. It's virtually a maxi skirt on me, well, you know, sort of mid-axi. And let me just show you the fabric there. It's a sort of polka dot fabric, so it's just sort of little white bits on top there. It's sort of part of the fabric. It's not actually a printed design, and it does have an underlayer. So we've got 2 layers there. So both layers are quite thin, so it is still maybe a tiny bit see-through, but I think with the 2 layers you can get away with that. It's 100% cotton, and again it was in the sale at a reasonable price. I'll put the price on the screen because I can't remember offhand how much it was. Let me show you both of those items together then. So you can see they make a really nice outfit as it is, the red and the white, and you can see the length there of the maxi skirt, nice and long. And you can see the fit of the waistcoat there. So because it's a stretch fabric, it does fit you exactly to your body shape, which is good. And it comes a little bit below the waist, so it's a little bit more flattering, I think. So really like those 2. As I said, not 100% sure yet whether I'll keep both. Then let's go on to Arket. So as I said, Arket do sort of more elevated basics. And I wanted to show you, I actually ordered a couple of pairs of trousers from there because that's one thing that's been a bit lacking in my wardrobe. I do regret not buying the linen ones I saw in M&S a month or so ago, and they've all sold out now. So that was that. So I actually ordered 2 pairs of trousers. Both of them are elasticated waist. So this first one said light denim, but I actually think it's more the colour that's like denim because it actually feels more just like a pair of cotton trousers. So it's got this little tie drawstring here, but it's elasticated enough you don't have to even do that up. It does have pockets, as you'll see in a minute. This is the medium, and they're just about long enough for me. I would have preferred them a tiny bit longer, so let me just show you these on. You can see I've got them on with very flat sandals there, and they're fine. Not sure if I'm completely 100% with the actual design. It's a wide leg design, but to me they do look a little bit pyjama bottomy. So I'm not sure what I think of those. They were actually a really good price though. They were just over £20 in the Arket sale. So I'm still thinking about those. You know, you can let me know what you think about some of these items, which you think I should have kept and which I shouldn't, because I do make mistakes and regret not buying things. And then occasionally I buy something and think, oh, I really shouldn't have bought that. So not sure about those. And then I've got a pair of jogging bottoms, and you might think they look very normal, but they're actually a little bit different because they're actually slightly barrel leg shaped. Now I know that will mean some of you won't like them, but I actually saw someone else wearing them, a younger influencer that I watch quite a lot called Lydia, who's really good, and she's about the same height as me, and she had a pair of these on and they looked amazing on her, and I thought, well, I'll try them. Now they weren't in the sale, they weren't reduced, but because I haven't ordered from Arket before, I did get 10% off for signing up to their emails. So they're a little bit more pricey. They're quite a thick cotton fabric, but as you can see there, you can see the slight balloon shape and then it tapers in slightly. So let me show you those on. So again, you can see there that they're a little bit longer. I've got those on with some kitten heels there just to raise me up a little bit. They're actually almost a bit too long for me. Now I'm 5'7", and say they're a good length on me. If you're 5'8" or whatever, probably they'd be perfect. If you're a lot shorter, I would say they're probably a little bit long because this is just the medium. It's not a large size or anything, and but they are nice and long for me. So, and I liked the sort of fluidity of them, the way they hang, sort of drape. I'm not a huge fan of a very exaggerated you know, sort of barrel leg shape, but I did think they were nice and I actually really like them. And as you can see, I've been wearing them with this blazer and some sort of neutrally shoes, and I think it looks really smart. Somebody commented, actually I was in the beauticians and somebody said to me about how nice my outfit looked, and I was wearing those. I put them on for the first time and I was wearing this jacket and I felt, you know, just quite quite elevated but casual elevated, that sort of easy style, rather than that you've sort of tried too hard, which is what I'm trying to get towards. I don't want to look too over styled as though, you know, you're trying to follow all the latest trends, but I just felt that they hung quite nicely and they go really well with all my other things. So just while I'm talking about it, this blazer that I got from Marks and Spencer's last week has been absolutely amazing. Any day where there's a bit of cloud or a bit of dampness or rain or it's not particularly nice, I put this on. And then any day when it's nice, I wear the waistcoat version of it. So basically I'm sorted out, and this goes with every single thing in my wardrobe, so I can have lots and lots of outfits, just either using the blazer when I want something to cover my arms, or using the waistcoat when it's a bit hotter and you don't want a lot but you just want a little bit of coverage, maybe the top of your arms and things. So those purchases I made last week have been absolutely fantastic. I'm really pleased with those. Then a couple of other things to show you. One thing from Mint Velvet. So hang on, let me put that on. I've actually put it on so you can see. It's an accessory. It's this cuff. So it's this gold cuff. You can see there, it just fits straight on your wrist. It's actually quite snug on me and I've got quite small wrists, but I saw this in the sale. It was quite an expensive piece actually. I think the full price is something like £70 and this was half price. So I was looking for a cuff of some sort and I thought this is nice. It's sort of elevated enough to look quite posh, you know, you can wear it with your evening outfits, but it's not too over decorated. Being just the gold, I thought that will be good because it will go with lots of things. And I think I'm going to enjoy wearing this. I'm actually going out tonight for a meal and I think I'm going to put this on with this outfit and maybe my cream skirt, which I've actually got on today as well at the moment. That's M&S as well. So I really liked that. And then finally, I have one other item to show you that I've just literally purchased, just about had time to try it on, and it was from TKMaxx. Now, I went into TKMaxx and I have to say I'm a bit disappointed in them at the moment. If you've watched my channel since last year, you'll know that I was a huge fan of TKMaxx and I have got some amazing bargains from them. But everything's looking a little bit tired. I mean, admittedly, this time of year, it's not, you know, the best when sale things are around and everything. The summer things are sort of looking a bit bedraggled, but wasn't a lot there at all. However, I did spot something, and this time I'm thinking of the autumn. So I saw this really nice little knitted cardigan. It's 100% cotton. It's one of these sort of lady jacket type cardigans. It does actually go all the way up there with the gold buttons. You can see it's got some really nice buttons there, and it's this cable knit design. 100% cotton, as I said, two little sort of faux pockets there. And I just thought that will go with a lot of autumnal stuff. I'm really wanting to get into brown this year in the autumn. It's a colour I didn't really embrace last year, but I would like to have a few brown items. In fact, I have seen some really nice brown jogging bottoms from Maxx that I might put with this. So just have a look there. You can see the fit of it. I actually got the large and it was a bit strange. There was a small and a large, both fitted me, but I would have got a medium and they didn't have it. And in the end, the small was a bit more cropped. This was actually a little bit longer. So I quite like where this comes on me. It's just sort of below the waist and a little bit flattering. And obviously I think that will go with all the sort of creamy, neutrally colour things that I've got as well in my wardrobe to make sort of something a little bit transitional. If I still want to wear some of those lighter, you know, beigey neutral pieces, then that will be something that can just add to it to make it a little bit more autumnal. So that was, well, it was actually £25, but I managed to get £3 off because it had a tiny pull at the back, which you can't really see. So I actually got that for £22. It's a brand I don't really know, but you know what TKMaxx is like. You never quite know if it's a proper brand or it's something they've had made. I think it's an American brand, but it's 100% cotton, as I said. And I think that's a really nice cardigan. I'm actually quite pleased with that. Thought that was a bit of a bargain. And then one thing I regret not getting is this really nice yellow waistcoat that I saw in River Island. It was in their sale, it was £25, and the size 12 fitted me perfectly. So I was thinking, you know, do I really need another waistcoat? I have got a beige one. I've got another one as well that I haven't worn much this year because I've got my new one. And I was thinking, do I really need it? But actually, because it fitted really well, sometimes I think you need to go for things, particularly when they're tailored pieces. If they do fit your shape, really you need to get them when you can, but probably I won't wear it that much now. There's not, well, hopefully, well, there might be another 5 or 6 weeks of summery weather to keep us going, maybe even longer if we're lucky, but I'm not sure if I would have worn it enough to justify that. So which of these items do you think I'm planning on keeping? So just pause the video for a minute, have a think and see if you're right. I know some people have been telling me they've been guessing right, so you know me quite well. Basically, I think I'm definitely going to keep the white skirt. I'm definitely going to keep the beige trousers. I mean, I've worn them out already. I said from the first haul, the only thing I kept was the Broderie blouse. So although it looks as though I've had a lot of clothes in, I'm not necessarily keeping all of them. And as I said with the other haul from last week, I sent all the Nobody's Child dresses back because I just thought I really don't need them. They weren't that special. So I've got quite a few sale bargains, as you can see. Probably I will be starting to turn my thoughts more towards autumn. As I said, I've made a start with my brown cardigan, but I'm hoping to go more into that trend, thinking of the suede and the browns and things like that. So maybe my thoughts will have turned to that. However, next week is due to be really nice. So perhaps I'll get back into a summery feel and have lots of chance to wear all my summery outfits now. So thank you so much for watching. Please let me know your thoughts on any of the items. Bit of controversy last week. I did wear a shorter dress and somebody did say that I was a bit old to wear a short dress, and a few people did comment on that. So let me know what you think about that as well. I hope you all have a good week and I look forward to seeing you next week. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for getting to the end of the video, and goodbye.